Hey guys, and welcome to the glorious madness we call Total War Warhammer. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I've got an awesome video for you today. It is going to be the mighty forces of Loopy and his Tzeentch homies taking on Grand Cathay here on the Deadwood in the Vampire Forests. Both these factions incredibly popular in the land battle scene in general. Grand Cathay a little less popular in domination at the moment, but they are kind of making a bit of a comeback. But in land battles, both these factions have been very heavily dominant. Excited to see how they perform today with two good players in charge. Let's have a little look at Loopy's build here. He is going to be leading the forces of Tzeentch, and we have Forsaken all along the front line. I love Forsaken. They are so meaty and juicy. They are rip and tear into a Grand Cathay battle line. They are a little bit susceptible, though, to missile pressure. Luckily, of course, the Tzeentch variety do come with those shields for an added bit of protection. Once you bust them down, only 85 armor, and they can really be popped quite quickly by Dragon Crossbowmen, Jade Warrior Crossbowmen, and even peasants can get really nice value on them. In the secondary line, we have some Blue Horrors of Tzeentch. Very popular pick in general. Some of the best cheap infantry in the game. They're cheap, they're cheerful, and they've got a load of Kobe's on them. They can launch plasma grenades like grunts from Halo and do a lot of devastating damage. Up in the skies of an Exalted Lord of Change. This is going to be the Tzeentch variety today, and it looks like he's coming in with the old typical spells, Blue Fire and Pink Fire of Tzeentch. Both very effective, and it gives you a little bit of answers to everything. They've got big single entities, you bring the Blue Fire. If they've got, real nasty amounts of infantry and heavy infantry and so on, you got the Pink Fire there. Plus, coming in as well with the Portal Glyph is always nice to dominate the air game. Speaking of the air game, we have a bit of an air core over in the back here. We have Chaos Furies mixed in with Screamers and Doom Knights, so a little bit of everything. And right in the back, we have some Flamers of Tzeentch. And I must admit, Flamers of Tzeentch may be the best flankers in the game, which may seem absurd because they're not, fast cavalry, which are going to whip around and destroy you by rear attacking you and so on. But Flamers of Tzeentch, if you let them get into the flank of the opposition, they will decimate battle lines in a matter of seconds. We're going to have to see how they perform today. For the forces of Grand Cathay, we do have Jade Warriors making up the main battle line. A little bit thin in the front. There is a lot of range here. It can be very hard to protect. We have a load of Jade Warriors, crossbowmen, and some basic ones in the middle to try to help their homies. We also have double Celestial Dragon Guard and a cannon at the back. We have some Jade Lancers, an Astromancer, and hidden in the trees, even more Jade Lancers. Leading the battle charge is going to be the Dragon-Blooded Shogunan Lord on the friggin' awesome looking horse. Very cool, almost reminiscent of the Dragon Princes of the High Elves, coming in today with the constellation of the Dragon, Dragon's Breath, and Jade Shield. Not bad spells whatsoever. I really like the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen. They not only look awesome, they got some really cool fire animations, and pretty damn deadly and potent. It'll be interesting to see how this Grand Cathay force does fare. There is not that many units to protect this huge amount of range, but hopefully with some successful crossfire, they may be able to aid each other here. There are some Chaos Furies hidden in the back, looking to bound down upon their unwitting opponents here. Hopefully we can see the Grand Cannons fire. They have such an awesome sound as they start to pop shots. They are aiming down range, trying to take out the Forsaken, realizing this big infantry push is pretty damn scary. Could definitely start to overwhelm their crossbowmen pretty damn quickly. We do have a little pink fire gun down the line there on the Jade Warriors, doing some decent damage. Now the crossbowmen are lighting up the Forsaken in the front. You can see the Blue Fire of Tzeentch also pretty good at taking down enemy infantry. If you can use it almost like an amber spear and firing it down a range of a unit, it can do really devastating damage. You can see, though, however, the Exalted Lord of Change's shield has been stripped from him. Crossbowmen definitely want to start focusing down the Forsaken and allow this Jade Warrior thin shield wall to hold as long as possible. Cannon did get shot down in the back. Furies were bobbing and weaving, dipping in. Looks like Jade Lancers were able to finish them off. However, the cannon has been forced back, and now the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen are also being jumped by even more Furies. In the main battle line, we can see some of the Forsaken have been forced back, and the Jade Warriors are holding the line effectively. Maybe I'll be proven wrong here today, and with the support of the Crossbowmen, they may be able to stop the Forsaken from pushing through this thin Jade Warrior battle line. Looks like Lancers are holding it out in the trees, going up against the Doom Knights. So that's not going to be a good fight for anyone, particularly now because the Jade Warriors are so overwhelmed. You expect Tzeentch to come really heavy down here with that juicy flank overload. In the back, Fury's doing a decent job on the Celestial Dragon Crossbowman. The other unit is doing a bit of crossfire in to try to support, and Jade Warriors unleashing hell upon the front. A Constellation of the Dragon slams down upon the mighty Forsaken in the front, but looks like it did a bit more friendly fire than it did to the enemy. Loopy with some good micro continuously pushing forward. Now, the front line has held, just about so far. But look at this damage. The Jade Warriors being annihilated. Yes, yes. I feel like Blue Horrors would really go with Skaven quite well. They're unleashing devastating damage here and obliterating those crossbowmen, sending them running. Elsewhere, we can see a buff has gone down on some Jade Warriors, attempting to keep them in the fight a little bit longer. The Forsaken and Screamers really pushing through heavily on this flank. We do have some more Jade Lancers pinning the enemy in place and attempting to overwhelm them. Lovely Dragon Breath attack going to be coming in as well, doing some okay damage to some of the Screamers. A decent contingent of range firepower is still on a line here for Grand Cathay, though some pink fire coming down the line is going to be pretty gnarly. However, Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen are still continuously pounding into the enemy, and the front line of Forsaken is really looking quite bewildered right now. They're almost confused at how they could lose to just petty Jade Warriors. More Forsaken are starting to push through the gaps, and with the Blue Horror support, you expect this front line to crumble sooner or later. The Flamers have whipped up around the flank now. Looks like they were able to drive off some Jade Lancers. But if you can get these guys in the flank, they are honestly devastating. If they could fire some long-range shots down the line, I'd be rather impressed here. We do get a bit of a Fury Summon come up into the sky, looking to probably bound upon the Jade Warrior crossbow that you would expect. And the Mighty Exiled Lord of Change in a little bit of a tricky situation here. He is supported by his Doom Knights. Lots of magic coming down as well, but if the Jade Warriors can focus fire him down, he's not the stonkiest of boyos. He can certainly be dragged down. We have Jade Warriors on the approach. Blue Horrors annihilating Jade Warriors, though. They do not want to stand for the might of the cackling demons. Jade Lancers are riding back into the rear here of the Doom Knights. That's going to be some pretty decent damage on the charge. Looks like they're attempting to pin in them and save the crossbowmen where possible. Been very impressed with the Grand Cathay player for how long he's kept a lot of these rangers active. And look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Flamers on that flank, pushing in. And so many units of Jade Warriors and crossbowmen fleeing before the mighty holy fire of Tzeentch. They've been bathed in it. We do have some Jade Shields active for that 44% damage resistance. I don't think it's going to matter. You may be Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen, but they're Flamers of Tzeentch, and they burn the weak. And it looks like the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen have been proven just that, fleeing to save their own skins. Alchemist does push forward as well, and look at that roast. So much damage. The focus from the Flamers is really nasty stuff. Now, they're very squishy, so they've got big pros, big cons to them. But if you can get them to work like someone like Loopy can, then you're going to be in with one hell of a unit there. Lovely Constellation comes down to obliterate the Blue Horrors. However, the Jade Warriors are starting to crumble and run. Good diligent play coming by the Tzeentch player. Doom Knights chasing down broken units, refusing to let them come back to the battlefield. We have Grand Cannon here and some crossbowmen, but it's really just, little bits here and there. And now that the Flamers are active, they're doing a fantastic job cleaning up some of these outlying units. Something they're very good at doing because, of course, they nuke the enemy leadership really, really quickly. With that big burst damage, we're probably going to see yet another just assault of fire, plus a rear attack coming from the Doom Knights, who ride through the fire and the flames on their mighty discs. That's going to be enough to shatter the majority of forces who could come back here for Grand Cathay. And I think it's also going to shatter the hopes of the Grand Cathay fans out there, because I don't think there's any chance of them getting back into this game. Now, we still have the Dragonblight Lord fighting strong. The majority of the infantry for Tzeentch is all wrapped up. We have a late game summon being popped. Really helps that balance of power, trying to push it over. And a almost full health Exalted Lord is simply going to be too much. So you could easily cycle charge down the remainder of the Grand Cathay build. And with these Flamers are doing what they do best here and just annihilating these characters, it's certainly going to be a good night, sweet prince, to this Dragon-Blooded Lord, who is charging into combat, trying to get that last death charge off. But alas, his courage fails him. He abandons all that him, his people, and his ancestors hold dear, and he flees to try to save his own cowardly skin. Very well played to both these players, an awesome game for sure, and I do love seeing a bit of Tzeentch on a Grand Cathay. As I said, I think they're two of the best factions in land battles at the moment, so it's always good to see them go head-to-head, particularly with good tournament players like this. Really impressive work all round. Again, the Flamers, I think, are just so fantastically devastating if you can get them in the right position. That's the tricky thing. A lot of people bring them in secondary battle lines, which can work really well, but likewise they can be pushed back by crossbowmen, so sometimes a delayed flank, moving them around the side in the late game, can be worth a lot more than just bringing them early and having them take a lot of damage, and therefore their damage output being far less successful. So guys, I hope you did enjoy this one. I'll delve into the gold value and damage dealt in just a memento. But if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a big fat thumbs up and subscribe for more content into the future. If you'd like to see more land battles and this type of content on the channel, let me know down below in the comments. Feel free as well to look at my little description. I do have a link to my Twitch there, a link to my Patreon where you can support the channel, and also a link to the Discord where you can submit replays and all that good, fun, juicy stuff. So once again, well played to these lads. The Exalted Lord is always a pain in the butt. 1.7k gold value today, still very healthy in the late game, however, and over 110 kills, 114 in fact, really helped break the backbone of that thin Jade Warrior line in the front. 1.7 on the Doom Knight, still probably my favorite unit on the Tzeentch roster with 100 kills. Forsaken, 900, 1.2k, 480, 184, and 181 value. A real mixed bag. You can see which one's got focused down by the crossbowmen early on. Just shy of 1.5k on the Flamers of Tzeentch with 65 kills, and the Air Core, not the greatest damage value, but it did its job. Likewise, so did the Blue Horrors, just getting in there and messing stuff up for Grand Cathay in the mid to late games. Just shy of 900 value on the Dragon-Blooded Lord with 134 kills, not too bad. Astromancer, 76 and 51 on the Alchemist. They're more here to support the Dragon-Blooded Lord, however. 666 for the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen. Looks like they're giving up their souls to the Chaotic Gods. And 587, so not a good day from them. Unfortunately, it's getting focused down a little bit too much there. Cannon likewise was shut down really early on, and just the Jade Lancers and the Crossbowmen were so hard pressed to get into good positions. These Crossbowmen preferred a little bit better, the basic ones here. 720, 900, and 700 value on them, but it was a real bump and grind for Grand Cathay to attempt to get into the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.